I do think I've shown growth. I'm going to let them decide on if that's enough for me to be the starter. I'll say this, if I was to be named the starter, I'd be confident going into the year based off of the growth that I've made up to this point.
Drew Lock sounding confident after his preseason debut against the Minnesota Vikings, but there's still a lot of work to be done in this QB battle, and it starts next preseason game. The starter of that one, Teddy Bridgewater.
Every day I just come out and try to help this team be a better team, help the other 10 guys in the huddle be the best version of themselves that they can be. Like I said a couple weeks ago, a decision will be made and, we go forward.
Welcome to Sports House Podcast. I'm Chase House. Vic Fangio said after the Broncos' 33-6 preseason opening win that the quarterback race is quote-unquote even Stevens, as any geezer would put it. But I don't know if it is even Stevens, because if you watched the game, you seen that Drew Lock performed significantly better than Teddy Bridgewater. And he started this game, so he had the first team defense against him and his first team offense. Well, a preseason's first team offense and defense. Drew Lock was 5 of 7, 151 yards and 2 touchdowns, including an 80-yard bomb and strike to KJ Hamler that hopefully we will see more of this season. And that 80-yard bomb was in the air about 50 yards, and it landed right in Hamler's hands. And if you take that away from Drew Lock, he still has basically the exact same stats that Teddy Bridgewater had when he played and came in the second quarter and a little bit of the third quarter. Teddy Bridgewater finished 7 of 8, 74 yards and a touchdown, which is not bad. It's actually pretty good. But Drew Lock's 80-yard bomb on top of it, and that's the difference. You take Drew Lock's 80-yard touchdown away, he has 4 for 6, 71 yards, and a touchdown. Teddy Bridgewater's stats are pretty much identical to that. 7 of 8, 74 yards, and a touchdown. So Drew Lock is in the lead. But this preseason game against the Seattle Seahawks is going to go a long way in deciding the Broncos quarterback battle. Now it's time for Teddy Bridgewater to respond. And he gets the start against Seattle. And then if last game was any indicator, Drew Lock will take over about second quarter, maybe spill into the third, while Teddy Bridgewater has the first quarter. We will see, though. But this is exciting for Bronco fans, and I think what has to happen for Teddy Bridgewater to win this job, which I don't think he will, I think he's going to need to play really good, or Drew Lock's going to have to throw a couple picks or so. But he can't just go out and play average. Like those numbers that I read you off, 7 of 8, 74 yards and a touchdown. Like those are, he only had 8 throws. Drew Lock only had 7. Drew Lock still threw the ball less times, had over double the yards and double the touchdowns. So no matter what your attempts are in this next game against Seattle, you got to show up. If you only get 10 throws, you got to throw a couple touchdowns with those 10 throws. Drew Lock, out of 7 passes, managed to find the end zone twice, which is huge. And that 80-yard bomb is what I feel is in store for the Broncos' 2021 season and why I feel like they are big underdogs this year. Their passer ratings were both really good, which is awesome to see. Teddy Bridgewater, 144.8, and Drew Lock, 153.3. Now, these are small sample sizes, but they are similar in size. That's what this preseason is about, is judging these quarterbacks and their numbers that they put up in preseason, how they play, what they show, and what they show that they can bring to the team entering this year. That's how they're going to make their quarterback pick. And after week 1, if you're just going off of last game, Drew Lock is significantly in the lead. And that's not to Teddy Bridgewater's fault. It's not like he's playing bad. And I didn't expect him to play bad. And you know the saying, when you have two quarterbacks, you have none. But I'd rather both quarterbacks play really good and one just play great and him take the job. And I think that's what we're going to see. And I think Teddy Bridgewater was a perfect guy to bring in for the Broncos because Teddy Bridgewater always played well. He's always played well. He's always he's never played too flashy, though, or put up amazing numbers, but he's been really careful with the ball his entire career, and he's more of a game-managing quarterback and a guy that doesn't really turn the ball over, doesn't put the offense at too much of risk. And he helps out with his legs. He's more mobile. But he's a pretty good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback, but he is a pretty good quarterback. He could play for most teams in the NFL and look better than a lot of the starters that we have right now. But he's also a really good backup. If he's a backup, then he's pretty much the best backup that you can have in football. But nonetheless, he was a perfect guy to bring in because he's not going to really turn the ball over. And I didn't expect him to come out in this preseason and be throwing picks or anything. That's not why I thought Drew Lock was going to win this job. I thought he would come out, play well, Teddy Bridgewater, and do what he normally does, put up respectable numbers, a touchdown or 2 touchdowns a pick. Pretty respectable numbers, nothing too amazing. But it would force basically Drew Lock to have to play really good. Good is not good anymore, basically. And bringing in Teddy Bridgewater, who's pretty good, now Drew Lock has to be great or really, really good to win the starting battle. And I think that was huge for the Broncos to bring him in. And plus, Teddy Bridgewater, the Broncos are only paying him like $3 million. So keep that in mind. Like, it didn't cost the Broncos really anything to bring him in. The Panthers paid actually like $7 million of his contract. The Broncos only paid $3 million. So they got him for a steal. And if he's a backup, it's an amazing deal. And if he's a starter, it's even better of a deal. But nonetheless, I really did like when the Broncos brought in Teddy Bridgewater for these preseason games and minicamp, and it would force Drew Lock to have to step up. And I've said from the beginning, I do believe in Drew Lock, and I thought that he would make this jump. But I do think that this competition is the best thing that could happen to the Broncos quarterback room. I feel like we've seen a glimpse of it in the Vikings preseason game from Drew Lock. He got his feet set under him on that 80-yard throw, and he put it right on the money. And it got me so ecstatic because that's what these guys can do. Hamler got behind the defense with ease. It wasn't even close. He was wide open, ran right past him. Looked like Tyreek Hill. And then Drew Lock put it right on his hands, 80-yard touchdown. That's the type of explosiveness that I expect from the Broncos this year. And that's why I think that they're winning well over their projected win total, 8.5. I think this team with Drew Lock at the helm, they're winning 12 games. If they have good quarterback play, which I believe they will, I think they'll have 12 wins. Good quarterback play and stay healthy. I'm thinking about doing a 5 keys or so to the Broncos' upcoming season and what needs to happen in order for the Broncos to be a playoff team and to live up to their potential. So I will elaborate more on that stuff in that podcast. But about the quarterback battle specifically, man, Saturday against Seattle is going to tell us a lot. And I actually think it could clinch the quarterback battle for Drew Lock, or it could open it up and maybe Teddy Bridgewater could take the lead if he plays really well and Drew Lock, like I said, threw a pick or a couple picks or something. But he's got to outshine Lock in this game to get back in this conversation. If week 1 repeated, I believe Drew Lock cements himself as the starter. So Teddy Bridgewater needs to outperform Drew Lock in this game, and he's going to have his chance. He's playing with the starters. I'm not sure exactly who's all starting. Jerry Jeudy played for like a couple plays in the Broncos' first preseason game. But nonetheless, Teddy Bridgewater is going to have more weapons this time around against Seattle. He's going to be playing with the first team offense rather than the second. And, so we'll see how that goes. I expect that he will play pretty well. I think he'll just have a Teddy Bridgewater type game. I hope both of these quarterbacks throw it more than 7 and 8 times. I hope they both get into double-digit attempts. And I don't really know what the point would be in putting the third quarterback out there if these two guys don't have 10 attempts each, at least. You need more of a sample size than just 7 or 8 throws like we had in week 1. So we'll see what the coaches decide to do as far as that goes, but it would be nice to see them throw it more in this game. Like that, this is the main thing that the Broncos preseason is about. The number one key is finding your starting quarterback. So go let these guys throw. I'm excited, though. I mean, like, after I watched that game, the Broncos, and, by the way, I haven't even said anything about Patrick Surtain yet. Like, a pick 6 in his first game ever, first time ever stepping on an NFL field, dude. He intercepts Jake Browning and returns it 30 yards for a touchdown. His first preseason game ever on the field. And if that doesn't certify you as a stud, I don't know what does. I think the Broncos, this guy is why, or he's one of the reasons why the Broncos are going to have an elite defense this year. He filled that cornerback hole, and he filled it like so well, it's ridiculous. I feel so confident with him as the cornerback, rookie or not. I mean, a pick 6 in your first preseason game ever, that's impressive. I don't care who was throwing the ball or who he was covering. Patrick Surtain can do it against anybody. PS2 for 6. We'll be right back after this.
Do you constantly pick at your scabula before they can fully heal? Do you look like a heroin addict because you have so many scabula scars? No matter how hard you try, you just keep picking, peeling, and pin sticking your unhealed scabulas. Ow! Wish there was an easier and safer way? Now there is! Introducing Scabulicide. Just one pill
12 times daily
is all it takes. Get back to living your life the good way, scab-free.
Side effects include, but are not limited to, nausea, vomiting, migraines, constipation, loss of balance, inability to see the color red, skin cell termites, sore throat, putrid body odor, insomnia, blindness, change of language, loss of friends, scoliosis, loss of limbs, fever, excess amounts of earwax,
this isn't
acne,
right.
fatigue, heart palpitations, hives, liver
something's
damage,
happening to
stroke,
me.
upset stomach, drowsiness, loss of
what's
appetite,
happening to me?
increased appetite, loss of childhood memories, left knee pain, heartburn, swelling of the throat, increased risk your child will be born a Cowboys fan,
Oh my
internal abdominal
God,
bleeding,
Lord
polka dotted
have
diarrhea, sore joints,
mercy.
excess body hair, unplanned sex change, thyroid cancer, excessive toe jam, playoff drought curse placed on your favorite team, simmering boils, unprecedented and uncontrollable radiation mutations, violent sweating, patching of
what
eggs,
is happening
ugliness,
to my
athlete wing
skin?
holdings,
Why
complete
is it
sterilization,
bubbling?
urinary tract infections,
Oh my
swelling in the
gosh!
abdominal cavity,
It feels like I'm growing
kidney
hair on the
incoherent babbling,
inside of my
irritability,
body.
redness and blood,
Oh my
loss
God!
of hearing,
Why would
headache,
anyone say
unexplainable
this?
pubic hair, bruising,
I'm
hot
growing
flush, bad
wings!
breath, drooling, sadness, pain in tongue, swelling of tongue, loss of tongue, warrant for arrest, inability to function as a human being. Molecular rearrangement and DNA transformation may occur in patients under 97.
Please contact your doctor right away if you are experiencing over 30 of these symptoms, assuming you can still dial a phone.
I'm Derek. I'm 27. Since taking Scabulicide, I haven't picked at a single scab. Mostly because my fingernails fell off, but yeah.
Hey, I'm Jerome. Scabulicide worked as expected and cut my scabula healing time in half. I did not, however, expect to turn into a rhinoceros. That was a bit of a surprise.
Hi, I'm Patty. I'm here on behalf of my friend Caroline, who couldn't be here because she died. So I gotta come in her place. How amazing is that? Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Hi.
Hey, I'm RJ. I'm only here because my lawyer told me I had to. I'm pissed as fuck. I grew a pair of wings and 5 new legs. Not one of them with a big toe. I look like a damn fool.
My name is Napoleon, and this stuff freaking sucks. It's pretty much the worst in the whole world.
My name is Carl. I have all the side effects that were listed. I would not recommend.
Scabulicide is not for everyone. Scabulicide is not intended for those assigned human at birth. Please contact your doctor to see if Scabulicide is right for you. If you watch that preseason game, preseason is preseason, but it's more than just a normal preseason for the Broncos, and they looked like they had a different swagger out there. I don't know if it was the single-digit numbers being the first time you can wear them this season, but Patrick Surtain, KJ Hamler, Drew Lock, Javonte Williams, these guys I had high expectations for all of them. And so far, it's exactly what I would have hoped. I couldn't have wrote it up better in the first preseason game. Now, I know preseason's preseason. But these guys are showing so much promise, man, and I'm excited to see what they can do for an entire season. And our running back, Javonte Williams, the dude's hard to bring down. He had 5 carries, 29 yards, 5.8 yard average. I'm excited to see what him and Melvin Gordon can do as a running back duo. The Broncos, they have very few holes. I'm telling you, man. They have speedy wide receivers, which you have to have in the AFC West. They have wide receivers that do not drop the ball, literally do not drop the ball, in Tim Patrick, who had 0 drops last year. 0. So, yes, literally does not drop the ball. Jerry Jeudy, who can get open with ease. And then we have super fast dudes that can run right past the defense. KJ Hamler, Deontay Spencer. 2 really good, capable running backs, Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams. We can constantly have fresh legs in the running back position, which would be huge. Noah Fant, he had a good year last season. I'm expecting a major step up this year, especially if Drew Lock steps up. I think Noah Fant, the entire Broncos offense is going to be the recipients of that. But I think Noah Fant. But, man, they're loaded at every position. The Broncos, and that was their offense. I can't remember the last time I said the Broncos are loaded on offense. I've talked all year about what they are going to be on defense. But these guys have an explosive offense as well. And if you pair that with a great defense, I don't understand how more people aren't taking the Broncos. These guys are sleepers.
Sports House Podcast.